Imagine you are peacefully boating, enjoying birds and nature, and suddenly someone casually says, "By the way, there are crocodiles in this water." And then you actually see them right next to your boat. But that was just one part of this trip. Because on this Bengaluru journey, I also stood on a 3 billion-year-old rock, spotted 8 owls living on one tree, ate delicious snacks for just rupees 145 in 2026 and walked through a museum full of beautiful vintage cars. So come along with me for part 2 of my Bengaluru adventure. Hey everyone, and welcome back to Cafe DM with Ridhima. Those who are new here, hi, I'm Ridhima, and if you enjoy travel stories, food discoveries, little adventures and real experiences, then you are at the right place. Today I'm continuing my Bengaluru travel series, a short but super memorable trip spent with family, nature and of course, amazing food. If you haven't seen part 1, then I'll put the link in the description. Day 3. Our day began quite early. Around 8 in the morning, we left for one of Bengaluru's most iconic places, Lal Bagh Botanical Garden. Now, this place holds a little nostalgia for me. As a child, whenever we visited my aunt during summer, I remember coming here. The memories are a bit hazy, but the excitement was definitely still there. As we walked through pink blossom patches and huge tree canopies, I suddenly realized something. This place has become even more magnificent and beautiful than I remembered. The moment we entered, I literally said, "Wow!" Because Lal Bagh is not just a garden, it's actually one of India's most historic botanical gardens. It was originally commissioned in the 18th century by Hyder Ali and later expanded by Tipu Sultan. Today it spreads across 240 acres and houses thousands of plant species from around the world. And one of the most fascinating things here is something far older than the garden itself. Inside Lal Bagh lies Lal Bagh Rock, a rock formation that is around 3,000 million years old. Yes, about 3 billion years old. Which means when you stand there, you are literally standing on a piece of earth that existed when our planet was still forming. Now that's quite mind-blowing. Meanwhile, my in-house experts, Supriya and Ravi, were constantly sharing interesting information about the plants and trees and birds. Walking with them felt like having our own nature documentary guide. But Bengaluru had another plan for us. Even though it was supposed to be winter, by 10 am, the sun was already quite strong. So we took a small break, and after many years, I had Neera, the natural palm drink. It was so sweet, refreshing and delicious with absolutely no added sugar. Definitely something you should try if you get a chance. After the break, we continued exploring. At one spot, we saw this beautiful Nandi idol, which looked absolutely gorgeous. Then we came across something magical. The ground was covered with bluish, purplish jacaranda flowers, forming what looked like a natural carpet created by nature itself. And I was slowly but surely falling more and more in love with Lal Bagh. Supriya showed us a very special tree, a tree that is home to owls. And guess how many we spotted? 8 owls on one single tree. all sitting quietly on the branches looking extremely cute. Supriya is an avid birder and has an incredibly sharp eye for spotting birds. And after her, Ravi proudly comes at number 2. And I'm still learning from the experts. I couldn't stop clicking pictures, and by now my phone battery was draining, and honestly, so were we. So we took another quick break and had something that instantly brought back childhood memories. Kacha aam, raw mango with salt and masala. Simple, tangy and absolutely nostalgic. Then Supriya showed us something really unusual, a tree called the monkey puzzle tree. Originally from Australia, this tree has very sharp, thorny leaves, but even monkeys avoid climbing it. That's exactly how it got its name. We really wanted to explore more, but the heat and exhaustion made us decide it was time for lunch. For lunch, we went to a place called Bhima, where we enjoyed a lovely Andhra-style meal. Fish curry rice and biryani served traditionally on a banana leaf. This biryani was little different, but it was so delicious. And here too, no bowls, no spoons, just the authentic South Indian way of eating, and honestly, I love it. This place is also much recommended. Then we came home, rested for a while, and whenever I travel, I suddenly feel hungry again for no reason. Maybe that's what being a true foodie means, right? So we headed to Asha Tiffins close by, which was quite crowded. But somehow we managed to find a place to sit. We ordered masala dosa, crispy medu vada, and something I tried for the first time, Arabic grape juice. And oh my goodness, that juice was thick, pulpy and absolutely delicious. Now here's the surprising part. All 3 items together cost just rupees 145. Yes, rupees 145 in today's time. The taste was easily 10 out of 10. Highly recommended. Just remember, it's a Darshini style place, so you may stand, share tables or sit on platforms, but the food is totally worth it. The next day we started even earlier, around 6 am, because we were heading towards Mysore. Our destinations were Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary and Payana Card Museum. On the way we stopped at Pakshala for breakfast. Ravi and I shared a South Indian breakfast thali with dosa, idli, vada, shira and upma. A perfect start to the day. Then we reached Ranganathitu Bird Sanctuary, which is actually Karnataka's largest bird sanctuary located on small islands in the Kaveri River. We booked tickets for the 20-minute boat ride. While waiting, I could already see so many pelicans, which made me very excited. And then someone casually mentioned there are crocodiles in the water. I didn't take it seriously until I actually saw them. Huge crocodiles resting on rocks and some swimming in the water very close to our boat. It was my first time seeing crocodiles from such a close distance. Surprisingly, none of us felt scared, maybe because the guides are very experienced. And the pelicans were absolutely gorgeous. We also saw many bird nests on the trees, and the beautiful still photos you see were captured by our in-house photographer, Supriya. After spending some time there, we headed to Payana Car Museum. This is a fascinating automobile museum that showcases the evolution of cars over the decades. You can see vintage and classic cars, each representing a different era of automobile industry. Along with the cars, there are also collections of old currencies, traditional utensils, and historical weapons, which makes the museum quite interesting to explore. Walking through it really makes you think about how much technology and design have evolved over time. After returning home, we rested for a bit, and then Otis and I decided to go for a little aunt-nephew date night. He took me to this lovely place called Biergarten. Great ambience, music exactly my taste, delicious food and some crafted beverages. We had a really wonderful evening there. The next morning was my last morning in Bengaluru. Before heading to the airport, we went to Meenakshi Coffee Bar for breakfast. And honestly, by now it was impossible to decide which place had the best food. Everywhere had been amazing, and I had one last mission to have that grape juice again from Asha Tiffins. So we packed it, went home, and then it was time to pack my bags and head to the airport for Mumbai. And just like that, my short Bengaluru trip came to an end. It may have been a quick holiday, but it was filled with nature, birds, food adventures, family time, and even a few crocodiles. Honestly, trips like these remind you that sometimes the shortest trips create the best memories. If you enjoyed traveling with me through Bengaluru, do like, share and subscribe, and tell me in the comments, would you dare to take a boat ride where crocodiles are swimming right next to you? I'll see you soon in the next adventure. Until then, keep traveling, keep exploring and keep creating memories. Carpe diem, love you all, take care.